Hey, what's going on, Facebook? Good morning, good afternoon almost. Goodness, it's already 11:30. Time goes by quick. Or maybe not if you're kind of stuck at home, and I do apologize if your normal routine is off, possibly your workout routine, and that's actually what I wanted to come on to see how your home workouts are doing. I know a lot of people that aren't used to doing home workouts are now doing home workouts, and maybe you're struggling, maybe you're used to having equipment at the gym or a certain instructor or a trainer, so forth, so on. So I really just wanted to take this time. I'm going to do two things. I actually got to apologize because there was some questions. I asked a question about stretching and flexibility, and then I forgot to answer them, right? Just in all the distractions going on and kids at home, and schedules are completely off kilter, I should say. Is you forget we're all human, we make mistakes, and I forgot to answer. I had two questions and I'm going to answer those, but also while we're on the subject and while I'm on here, I'm going to give you the opportunity right now live. Again, nothing, this is, again, you have a question you want to ask, you can certainly go ahead and ask me the question. First off, you want to share how the home workouts are going. Maybe you haven't had a chance to get back into working out. Maybe your New Year's resolution started out kind of pretty good the first couple of days and weeks, and then you realize the gym was really busy. And it's just so you know, on a side note, if you're a New Year's resolution person and you get started in a gym membership, the gym's not always like that. In fact, it's only like that for about maybe January, February, and then typically in March, although right now it's completely empty. Now is what it looks like usually in the summertime, at least here in Florida. So with that, I want to know if you want to send me a message right now. I want this to be interactive. I don't want to just be the long-winded talker here, but to provide as much help as I can. Just so you know, I've helped people with home workouts for a very long time. I used to personal train in home with people. I used to set up programs for people in their homes, all different levels, all different types of equipment. If you have questions regarding fitness, regarding types of equipment, where to get them, how to get them, what kind of equipment should I have? Do I just do body weight? Do I go outside and do sprints? What kind of cardio can I supplement? Right now is a great time to ask because I'm giving it to you for free. And just so you know, while I don't have all the answers, I have a lot. I've been doing this for about 25 years. So if you have any questions, go ahead and hit them in the messages. And if not, I'm going to answer the two that were posted yesterday, or that were asked by, I asked and they asked me the questions, and I'm going to answer those in a moment. And again, any other questions, it can be related to weight loss, it can be related to fitness, fat loss, try not to go bonkers, trying to get some good exercise, trying to maybe ward off the pounds, because I have a feeling we're all kind of feeling not just a bit hibernated, but kind of like holiday mode, where calories are starting to creep on the body and it's starting to put on a little extra weight, and maybe you're just not as active. So anyway, I'm going to go on and ask or answer the first question. Let me just scroll down here to it. I got to just find it. There we go. No. Sorry. Just bear with me here. You guys, if you're hanging out at home, want to just share with you. I apologize too for like restaurants and people's teachers right now. Teachers, gosh, I'll tell you what, they need some extra prayers. Our church leaders who are trying to work and scramble, the ones that aren't used to doing online services like ours and just kind of getting started in that, pray for them, please. You can pray for even the trainers and gyms and stuff that aren't open, and maybe there's a lot of people depending on them, and they are, also a lot of people out of work right now. I totally get that. So here we go. Let me just get down to the questions here. I had it pulled up and then it went away. My apologies. There it is. Of course, it doesn't help that I post a lot. If you're tired of seeing my stuff, you don't have to follow me. That's cool. But if you're interested, just so you know, I am an online coach. So it is kind of like in my DNA. I wasn't a couple of years ago. Maybe you're struggling right now trying to figure out what online and all this stuff, and maybe ordering food and delivering and all those things. And the reality is, while things might go back to normal, the reality is that things are moving in this direction. Look, I never thought 5 years ago that I'd be an online coach. And then here I am 2.5 years in. I've been doing online coaching, and it's awesome, and there's lots of reasons why I'm not to get into that, but let me just, okay, good. So the first one, Shauna, gosh, I always get your name messed up. So Shauna asked the other day, what are good stretches at bedtime? So that's a really, really good question. So stretching at bedtime, static stretching, I would say, is if you're getting ready to relax or trying to relax. The foam roller is a great tool. That's not typically a stretch. It's more soft tissue work. So if you have tension in there, they're also and without going into like specifics on like, hey, do this stretch or that stretch, you can do really pretty much any. But really what I find, depending on how you sleep at night, so if you are a back, if you sleep on your back, which I don't do, I typically sleep on my side, you can actually, before, is doing some leg stretches where you're doing where a knee into the chest, pulling your knee into the chest. You can use a towel to get a good stretch you put around your foot. You could do a good calf stretch in bed. You actually can look up, again, I'm not going to bore you with all the time spent. You can certainly look up stretching in the bed, before bed, but I would say things that are going to be relaxing. I want to give you the general answer, that way you can kind of get an idea why, is things that are going to cause your muscles to relax. So things like a static stretch. I mentioned in my stretching routine the other day, I talked about dynamic and static. If you haven't seen that, go back and check it out. I did a whole workout on stretching. So that's I wouldn't do like dynamic stretching or start doing a lot of exercise before bed. 99% of the people, you start building endorphins, it's going to make it harder to go to sleep if you start doing things that are going to be like jumping around, like jump rope and that sort of stuff. So things are going to relaxing. I would say stretching, also some quiet time, but some meditation would be really good. That's not necessarily a stretch, but that's something that can be helpful. If you sleep on your stomach, know that your body's going to be sometimes a little bit more extended, is to make sure that your muscles in your back are relaxed. So doing some like cat camels, things where if you've seen them where you round your back and hands and knees and arch, those are really, really good ones. And I would say in general, there's not like a specific, maybe 3 or 4 that I have, but any just lying in bed. A towel stretch to do hamstrings is really good. That's also helpful. And you can do those as well getting up in the morning. So again, that's just kind of a general answer. That was sort of a general question anyway. And then Seth mentioned in the next one, he said, he asked Seth asked, good stretch for your hip flexors and psoas muscles. And my hip flexors are always tight. Thanks. So yeah, hip flexors, I would say one of the challenges with our hip flexors and psoas, you don't have to know like the terminology for that. They're muscles in the front of your body. So I'm going to just show you what kind of, like if you see here, sorry, the picture, like the crude picture of my shorts, but if you see I'm sitting right now and you see how the shirt is kind of like crunched up right there, and you see how the shorts are kind of crunched up. Now let me just stand up. Let me just stand up here and try to straighten out. And I'm just going to show you down. Sorry for this picture, but you see how now it's kind of like straightened out, right? So let me just sit back down. Let me just sit back down. This is going to help. See how that did this? See what happened here? Again, why I wanted to share that with you is because that's exactly what happens to our muscles. Maybe not as crude, but what happens when our muscles and our hip flexors, that I was showing you the picture of like the area of the hip flexors and the psoas major, which is a little deeper muscle and it's a little sometimes harder to get to. But what happens is when we tend to spend a lot of time, and now might be a time where your hip flexors are tight, maybe you feel stiff in your back when you get up, is our hip flexors tend to get tight because they stay, and that's with anything, they tend to stay in a position that is not normal, like our natural position, our body position standing, where the length of our psoas and the hip flexors are in the natural position. But if you go to sit, now I'm just going to sit down and stand up. It's like sit down and stand up, like in Catholic school. All right, so here we go, right there. So you see that? And that was no offense anyway. I grew up Catholic, went to Catholic school. I was just thinking of church standing up and sitting down. But with that, is those muscles tend to get tight. So stretching-wise is hard because sometimes when you pull them, and what happens when you sit for too long, the muscles kind of, they readapt to that length now. So if you spend, say, more time sitting than standing, then your muscles are going to naturally adapt to that. So one of the things that you can do to offset it is not to spend, so preventatively, Seth, on that is to be sure that you don't sit for too long a period of times, because that will help your muscles get back to natural, normal length. Also, one of the things better than stretching, I would say, and there's lots of stretches. You could do like your hip flexor stretch, kind of like a runner stretch, and I'm not going to show you those now. I wanted to just give you an understanding. But soft tissue, I talked about it the other day, is making sure, and they have lots of tools. What's really good, you can use a foam roller. It's kind of like a lighter tool. It really gets more surface area. You can use, something that's a little more dense, a little firm, like a lacrosse ball that you can actually roll out. You can look up rolling out like the hip flexor. And again, this is something, you can go Google search this, but I'm just share with you what you should look for when you're doing that. Google search, and maybe I'll just do a training on it. On the foam roller, you can use different types of rollers, firmer rollers to get in there. You can use something smaller that can get in a little bit deeper. Also, if you've seen those kind of like, they're like, they look like drills, but they're more like vibrating tools, and the vibration is really, really good. If you see like those hand massagers, they make like super industrial kind now that can get to those muscles. And what that doing, that vibration, is actually causing those muscles to go into a relaxation. And when they are tight, especially, and I've used it, we have one at home, it's awesome. I do it sometimes when my muscles get tight after a hard workout. I tend to, just from my job, from doing stuff on the phone and computer, is my shoulders and my neck muscles get tight, and I'll get up in there. And you can't really foam roll like the shoulders. The massage stick works good as well. You can't really get the massage stick in there. But as far as stretches go, I wouldn't do any stretches until you actually worked on the soft tissue. And that's something that, and those are all like kind of superficial. So I would say to help even more, if you have access to a good massage person, that would be ideal. I have a great massage. If you're local here and you need somebody that's a great massage therapist, let me know. I'll hook you up. She's fantastic. I've been using her for a long time. In fact, I do it on a preventative side on a monthly basis. I'm actually due to go to her now. And I can tell you, it's been one of the best investments. You're like, a massage? Like, that's like kind of a luxury. It isn't. It's actually more preventive. It's something that I know has been a great investment, because it's helped me be able to push my workouts and recover quicker by having a massage therapist work in the areas that I can't get to. So anyway, side note. So I hope that helps. But again, if you have any questions now, I'd really love, I don't see any questions. I'm just going to say hello, and I'm not going to stay on. Peter, what's going on, brother? Sarah, appreciate you. Lori, thanks for joining. Sorry I don't have a workout right now. I'm going to post one. I might do one in a few minutes. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe I've gone on too live. Maybe you're getting sick of me on here. I know I can be long-winded and like to talk, but I'll tell you what, you can either do this. You can either maybe sit in silence, sit in quietness, and wonder what's going on in the world. You can certainly go on the news and spend your entire day and start letting not to say you shouldn't be informed, don't get me wrong, be informed. And I choose kind of the alternate is to fill my mind and fill my time with things that I can be of helpful. The times, if you feel helpless, let me just share this with you. I know this is a side note, and I'm not going to get into a faith thing. I already shared my faith this morning about the light in each day that we have. But I would say one of the best ways to combat, like not just tightness, this on a side note, because I know we're all struggling right now. While I'm actually spending time, when I'm helping other people, if I can provide some help, whether it's teaching you about stretching, if you have questions about home fitness, please ask. Now is a great time. Don't say like, I'm afraid to ask a question. What if I'm going to be judged? There's no dumb questions. Please ask me a fitness question. Ask me any question. It doesn't matter to me. You can ask me something: stretching, flexibility, working out, home workouts, having any time, being stressed out of my mind, all that stuff. That's kind of where we're at, right? I get that. But I can tell you, here's one thing that's helped me combat. And it's just naturally because I help people in the health and fitness field. That's just what I do. Is when you are focused on other people. My wife right now is at work. She's at not the hospital part, but she's at Mayo Clinic working and doing regular work. In fact, all you nurses and doctors and physicians and doctors, same thing, and all you healthcare providers, you police